AR, VR, AI, NFT, blockchain, the Metaverse. These are all terms that are entering the public awareness more and more. Well, here to share what's happening and what the future holds in the virtual world is Rish Lotlekar, co-founder and CEO of SuperWorld. It's great to have you.
Thank you.
And Globe Trekker, I should also say. First, let's get to know you a little bit better, Rish. So tell us, you say that you're a bit of a globetrotter, you're very transient in your life. So how did all this come about?
Well, I've always been interested in the world. I grew up, traveling a lot with my family and my parents, and I've always been very intrigued by cultures, languages, countries. I just really am inspired by that. And so, due to technology and virtuality and, even the last couple of years with COVID, I think we've all realized that we're all able to be very virtual in our work lives and our, in other parts of our lives, even things that we're doing recreationally or things that we wouldn't have imagined maybe doing virtually we're able to do. And so I've always been a believer in that, and so I've lived very globally, nomadically now for about 12 years. So every year live in different places.
The world is getting smaller and smaller, and just to put this into context for you, he has a 6-year-old daughter who's been to 15 countries already.
Yeah,
who's lived in 15 countries.
Yep.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. But yes, I think it was baptism by fire for a lot of us because of the pandemic in 2020. Everybody was forced to work from home and figure it out. But this technology has been around now for a long time, but it has been developing more and more. And I gave some terms off the top, and I'm hoping that you can just give us quick definitions of these. AR, VR, AI. What's the difference between the three?
Sure. So AR is augmented reality, and it's when you add digital information to real world environments. So it's as if I could put a hologram of my best friend who lives across the world right here in the room, right? And now I'm talking to someone and communicating with them in this real world environment, but they're digital, right? That's augmented reality. It's when you're augmenting the real world. Virtual reality is when you go totally virtual, right? So I snap my fingers and now we're on the beach. I look around and all I see is ocean.
And that's with the help of?
That's with the help of a headset, which is a virtual reality headset.
I see, okay.
And then again, all of these technologies really come together with artificial intelligence and contextual understanding of your environment. And
so AI lends itself to both AR, VR.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. And then we've also talked about NFTs and blockchain. And this is something that is also becoming very popular. NFTs are becoming huge among celebrities who can afford them. And blockchain goes hand in hand with that because that's the technology in which to protect, right?
Right.
So maybe you can explain a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, so non-fungible tokens, which is what is an NFT, is really a digital asset. And really the idea there is that you can convert anything into an NFT, which is very powerful. So if you're talking about a piece of music, a video file, a 3D piece of content, maybe a 3D type of object or an interactive object, a game, even physical things like going to a concert or having access to something in the real world, you can convert all of that into an NFT. And an NFT is a way of really signifying that you are the owner, the authentic owner of whatever that is.
Well, we need to take a break here. When we come back, more on SuperWorld. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now we're going to enter your universe, the meta universe. So what is the metaverse exactly?
The metaverse is the online, offline interface for all activity. So whether you're talking about going to a digital environment or you're talking about doing things in the physical world, when you combine all of those things together in a persistent format, accessible through a variety of different form factors, whether that's visual, audio, haptic suits, you name it. It's really the combination of all those things. And what we call the open metaverse is when all of that is decentralized. So it's not owned by a central party.
Like cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency is a great example of decentralization. That's right.
So tell me, how does living in the metaverse help you in the real world, in the earthly sense?
Yes. So, the really powerful concept here is that we're able to do a lot of the things that we do in the physical world, we're able to do them virtually, right? And the thing that we're doing at SuperWorld is we're focused on people's real life. And so it sounds ironic to build a virtual world
to deal with real life
that focuses on your real life, but that's exactly your question. Is, the things that you do in your real life can actually be further, amplified, can be enhanced in many ways by adding virtuality to those things.
Can you give me an example?
Sure. So I flew in today for this interview, but what if I could beam in here as a hologram, and that experience could be exactly the same as if I flew in here, right? And I flew in because I actually, would love to be in here in person.
Sure,
I love traveling, but not everyone might have that opportunity. And so again, that's a simple example of leveraging virtuality when I need to, and doing it in a way that's very compelling, right? And not just a video call or doing something that doesn't feel real, but when you're utilizing these technologies at their optimized state, you're able to get what's called presence. And presence is a term when it is indistinguishable from real life.
And I can vouch, though, Rish is actually here. He is actually here. I just touched his knee. He is here.
That's right.
No, yeah. but that's interesting. But how do you now get that into the vernacular of people such as myself who don't catch on quite as quickly?
Well, it is.
It's hard to conceptualize.
Yeah, sure,
it really
is. It is hard. And what's beautiful here is when people understand the value of virtuality, of the metaverse. They get very galvanized and excited about it. But I think what gets people to understand it is to understand in their daily lives what are the ways that virtuality is already enhancing their lives. Communication was one way.
Yes.
The other way is, I often think of, gaming, because there's just so much, interest around gaming. But if you think of movies, even traditional movies, a lot of them are also, oftentimes looking very much like games, very computer-generated content, right? And so on the entertainment of our lives, we're starting to see virtuality kind of take place, whether it's AR type of content or VR content. Education is another way. If you see something in 3D and you're able to walk around and experience that, that's just much more of a compelling way to learn. And so as you start kind of seeing how all of these, technologies start enhancing our daily lives, they become much more compelling.
Real quick, how far away are we from implementing these examples into our daily lives?
Well, it's already happening.
Okay.
So there's 3.6 billion mobile phones that are augmented reality enabled.
Right.
Right. And we really saw that. There was a game called Pokemon Go that became a huge hit.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
and that showed us that the technology is compelling and people would use it. Right.
Okay, yeah.
And so, as that technology and eyeglasses technology that's coming out from Apple and Facebook and others,
right.
We're going to see that really penetrate the market. And VR is out there, right?
Right. Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating. There's so many more questions I have for you. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, but we hope to have you back. We like having you in the studio, but of course, we can always do it via some other technology. Maybe not the hologram, but we'll do it via Skype at some point. For anybody who's interested in more information about SuperWorld, where do they go? Well, they go to superworldapp.com, and we've built a virtual world on top of the real world that allows anyone to create, discover, monetize anything, anywhere, and own the world. So I'd welcome you all to check it out. Fantastic, Rish. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me. We're back after this.